KHOU 11 News at 6 starts now.
Early voting for the November 8th election. The numbers are down so far in Harris County. Why the experts say Democrats should be concerned. Tragedy in South Korea. Over 100 people dead after a crowd rush and stampede. We'll have the very latest. But we begin with the Astros. Game 2 is tonight. You're looking at a live picture from Minute Maid Park. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ron Trevino. The Astros are looking to even up the World Series after the heartbreaker last night against the Phillies. The Astros are sending Framber Valdez to the mound. He'll face off against the Phillies ace, Zach Wheeler. Let's head out to Shern Chow, who's anchoring our World Series coverage from Minute Maid Park. Hey, Shern.
Hi. Hey, Ron. How are you? Look, we got some fans back there. Woo! All having a good time. First pitch, it's 7:03, as you know. Fans have been streaming inside like these good folks. Of course, last night, a heartbreaker for Houston. Philadelphia Phillies storming back after being down 5-0. And then they're squeaking out a win 6-5 in the 10th inning. The big question, of course, is what do we got to do tonight to make it right? So let's go inside the Minute Maid Park and let's talk to Jason Bristol, Daniel Gotera, and KHOU 11 baseball analyst Jeremy Booth. Guys?
Game 2 is almost here. Framber Valdez against Zach Wheeler, here with former Major League scout Jeremy Booth and Daniel Gotera. Guys, our keys to the game for the Astros. Jeremy, what is your number one key?
Number one key to the game is Framber Valdez being effective, not just one time through the lineup, but at least twice. He's got to go ahead and keep these Phillies hitters off balance. They got some momentum after last night, chasing a 5-run lead and closing that down and winning 6-5. Valdez needs to come out and deliver a punch. He's got a fastball command, he's got to deliver the breaking ball, and he's got to keep him off balance.
We saw Framber last year pitch in the World Series, and he said that his emotions got the best of him last year. He says he's learned from that, kind of helped him along in that quality start streak. For me, I think they got to get production in the bottom of the lineup, right? Because we've talked about it all year. They did it in the ALCS, ALDS as well, turning it over. I know Altuve's not hitting, but at least then those guys behind Altuve can kind of drive those guys into.
How about the top of the lineup? Yordan Alvarez was a machine in those early games against Seattle, but teams naturally have been very careful with him, pitching him up and away. I think Yordan Alvarez really has to get that bat going for the Astros to make a difference in this World Series.
Alvarez is one of the best hitters in baseball, and he really has been since he got here. More importantly than just Alvarez is Jose Altuve as well. You can't do this without both, and if both of those guys are down, puts a lot more pressure on a very inconsistent bottom third of the lineup. Alvarez has got to hit. He's the fastest guy to get out of slumps and send them very long, and he can arrive on time pretty much any pitch in the zone and change the game.
I think the Astros just need a big moment. Whether that big moment comes from Yordan or from Altuve. I feel like everyone in the city is waiting for Altuve to get a huge hit. And I think if he gets that hit, it'll maybe lift a little bit of pressure, if there is any pressure on this group right now, because he's really the guy that gets this car going.
But they had big moments in Game 1. Kyle Tucker, 2 home runs,
yeah,
and
but
Justin Verlander.
Okay. Not Altuve. For me personally.
To me, it comes down to managing the roster properly, both when you're on the field as a player, understanding what your role is, and in Dusty Baker's position. Like, you have to be able to execute your personnel, use your entire roster in the World Series to win the World Series. You can't limit yourself. You have to be able to get outside the box a little bit and get creative.
And winning a game here at home, they're 3-10 all time in the World Series here in Minute Maid Park. That's just crazy. That's a crazy stat to me.
It is. So that's what's happening ahead of Game 2. Our keys to the game for the Astros in Game 2 of the World Series here at Minute Maid.
All right, thanks, guys. The series, of course, far from over, right? It's best of 7. We're only on Game 2 tonight. 41,000 fans expected to pack the stadium inside, including these good folks. And many of them are going to be outside enjoying the big fan fest, along with our Zach Tamatari. Zach?
Yeah, Sherman, we're right outside of Fan Fest. My apologies. These fans have been very loud all day. Waiting to get into Fan Fest here. Tell me your name. Tell me.
Tuan,
and tell me, are you excited for tonight? Do you think the Astros can bounce back?
Hell yeah, we're going to win tonight. We guarantee we're going to win tonight. We're going to bounce back.
Hoping to see another Kyle Tucker home run?
Absolutely. He's going to be MVP for the series.
All right,
King Tuck.
All right, Sherman. So you hear these fans very excited as they get ready to head into Fan Fest. We're approaching first pitch here, so the fans are ready to go, hoping the Astros can tie it at 1 today. Sherman.
Woo!
All right, Zach, and you know what? I think my fans are better than your fans, because take a look at them. They are full of zest and energy. And you know what else? We love to see your fan photos. So please send them to us. That has been one of the great things about this series. Photos have been pouring into the KHOU newsroom, so share your pictures. Go ahead and text them to 713-526-1111. We want to see your pictures, and make sure you include your name, and you might see your photo on TV or KHOU.com. All right, Ron, this is what's been going on here at the big Minute Maid Park. First pitch just about a half hour away now.
Let's hope they can turn it around tonight, Sherman men. Let's hope they can turn it around. Yeah, you're doing a lot of praying. All right, thank you so much, Sherman. Whatever happens, it's just a game. Now to the real world. Some horrible news out of South Korea, where officials say at least 146 people were killed. It was a crowd surge and stampede. It happened during a massive Halloween festival in Seoul. 150 other people were injured. Officials say as many as 100,000 people gathered in a neighborhood for the festival. Many began pushing forward into a narrow alley. One survivor said many people fell on each other like dominoes. Back here at home, early voting for the November 8th elections continues. As of 5 o'clock, more than 39,000 people in Harris County cast ballots today. Over 55,000 voted yesterday. Today, the Democrat running for governor, Beto O'Rourke, was back in town, urging supporters to vote. Brittany Ford has more on the early voting trends that could be a challenge for O'Rourke.
More than 30,000 people in Harris County have already cast ballots in the first week of early voting.
If you have the time, I want to just go ahead and get it over with instead of waiting on election day.
Democratic candidate for governor Beto O'Rourke made a stop at the Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church polling site Saturday in efforts to get more of his supporters to do the same.
Our friends, our family, our neighbors, our classmates, our colleagues, the people in our lives who might need a little nudge to get out to the polls.
It's one of several stops O'Rourke has planned in the greater Houston area over the next week. Early voting turnout in Harris County is down from previous years.
So you're going to see the Democrat candidates really hit those locations intensely hard.
Vlad Deviak, Republican strategist, says Republicans appear to be doing a better job of getting out to the polls. He believes two things are factoring into the numbers: the lack of new voters turning out.
That doesn't bode well for Democrats. Democrats rely on lots of new voters turning out, lots of new voters voting both in primaries and in the general election.
And higher voter turnout in surrounding areas known to sway right.
Turnout is much higher outside of those big urban areas, which Democrats consistently need to focus on most of all, because they know that that's going to be the heart of their ballot and the heart of their support.
We must have a governor.
He says the next week leading up to the election will be critical for Democratic candidates.
Let's make sure that in these 10 days, we take some time to knock on doors, to make some phone calls.
Brittany Ford, KHOU 11 News.
Remember, you can text the word VOTE to 713-526-1111. We'll text you back a link to the KHOU 11 Voter Guide. In it, you'll find information on polling places, how to access a sample ballot, and much more. All right, to the weather now. Here's a live look at Minute Maid. Kind of cloudy and cool for Game 2 of the World Series. The roof is closed. Meteorologist Pat Cavlin joining us. This is good baseball weather. Well, at least better than last night.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, the roof is closed either way, but it is definitely going to be chilly. So if you're heading home from the game, if you're going to be at the game tonight later on, yeah, it's going to be brisk. Temperatures drop back to the upper 50s. If you're doing anything else tonight, it is Halloween weekend. You want to make sure that you are dressed kind of warmly because, again, it is on the cooler side. Sunset right now. There's the sun peeking just underneath that cloud deck that's been with us all day long. Temperatures currently in the low to mid 60s. Will drop into the upper 50s here through the overnight. So dry but chilly. Clouds will eventually break for sunshine as we get into Sunday. And we do stay nice as we get to Halloween before our next weather maker comes in by Tuesday. So through the overnight, these are the temperatures that we will end up with. 53 Katy and Sugar Land, 55 for League City, down in Galveston, 52 degrees, low 50s north and west from Conroe to Spring and Liberty, 54 Brenham, and 52 in El Campo. So a lot of clouds right now. We are seeing a few breaks, though, to the south and west. Eventually, those breaks will take over. This is the slow-moving storm system that brought us the rain yesterday. It's only made it out towards the Mississippi Valley, where it's bringing tornadoes and severe thunderstorms here. So a pretty potent storm system. It's going to take its time exiting, but eventually through the overnight, we do see it pull away from the area. So clouds will exit, temperatures drop. As we get into tomorrow, high pressure takes in. It's sunny and warmer, but that doesn't last a long time. That high slides to the east. Another storm system develops across West Texas. We will be dry for Halloween. Clouds come in late, and then by Halloween night, during the overnight hours and into Wednesday morning, or Tuesday morning rather, that's when we see the next rain chance come in. So Sunday is sunny. Monday we start with a few high clouds. Those high clouds will stick around for much of the day as the trick or treaters are out after school, after work, 6, 7 o'clock. We are dry. Sunshine is out there, a couple high clouds. It's a really nice evening. I would say later on, figure 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we could start to see a few showers across our western zones. And then by Tuesday morning here, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, that's when clouds and showers are with us, and those will stick around for much of the day. So there's the Halloween forecast for the afternoon. Sunny, 77, 60s for the evening with those clouds thickening up. I think it's dry though all throughout, so we are looking good for the trick or treaters. So there's the good news. Now beyond Halloween, we are tracking another storm system. Now, this isn't until the end of the week, but the reason I'm pointing it out is because it will bring the potential for some severe weather across West Texas here. This is by late Friday into Saturday, so a week from now, day 7. And the reason why I'm pointing it out again, the Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted West Texas under a potential for severe weather. Why does that mean anything to you at home here in Houston? Because eventually what starts out in the west slides to the east. So we'll have to keep an eye on a severe potential as we get into next weekend. We're also watching the tropics. We've got this area here in the Caribbean, the East Caribbean now with high odds for developing within the next 5 days. Notice that curve upward here. That's not what we want to see, obviously, with us here in Houston. As we look at all of the computer models, though, nothing takes this potential system into the Gulf of Mexico. We do see a little bit of a northward track here just to the south of Jamaica, and then it curves to the south towards Guatemala as we get into later the upcoming week. So we are not worried about anything in the tropics here at home. So there's the 7-day forecast. A lot of things that we're watching for you. Bottom line, though, sunny and 75 for your Sunday. Halloween is dry. Tuesday's the next rain chance. We don't cool off behind that. We go from 70 on Tuesday to near 80 on Thursday. And then Ron, by next weekend, we'll be keeping an eye on that second storm chance. But definitely a pretty active start to November here. Good news, the hot weather looks to be behind us. Temperatures stay in the 70s to around 80 in the upcoming week.
Well, thank goodness for that. All right. Thank you so much, Pat. That's going to do it for us for now. For all the good folks here at KHOU 11, I'm Ron Trevino. We'll see you again at 10, and go Astros.